there, you join me in the paddock for a brand new series of Champions of the Future. Can you believe this? We're now entering our 6th season of fast and furious, wheel-to-wheel, edge-of-the-seat kart action. Still 4 great formulas filled with a whole host of ultra-talented 8 to 16-year-olds, all of them desperate to prove themselves out on the track. And who knows, they might even find themselves catapulted into a Formula One car in the not-too-distant future. Well, today we're at the high-spec, high-speed PF International Kart Circuit, which is near Grantham in Lincolnshire. Weather's not too bad, sunny for now, partly cloudy. But before the lights turn to green, let's get the lowdown on the circuit in Track Facts.
PF, it's one of the great tracks to master. It's got a lot of fast-flowing corners, very grippy, very good.
It's a track made for 100cc karts.
The corners are completely different, basically the whole way around. It always has really close racing because all the top people always come here to race.
There's long straights, tight hairpins. You can never get bored of it. And if you want to start somewhere, the best place to start is here, really.
Quite a tricky circuit and a driver's circuit.
Some nice long straights with some sweeping corners and also some very technical corners in the hairpins.
Very fast corners, fast corners.
And the adrenaline of this track is just there all the time.
Well, now we know how our drivers feel about the track. Now it's time to find out how they fancy their chances in today's event. First up, Formula Yamaha, and here are a few to keep your eyes on in ones to watch.
Yeah, the main rivals will probably be Jack Linfoot, Danny Allen, and there's lots of quick drivers in the championship. To train for this season, we're doing lots of testing, variety of tracks. This year I think my main rivals will be Edward Hoy, Danny Allen. We've been doing a lot of circuit time and a lot of training getting ready for the championship. Hopefully I'd like to do well, but we'll just see how it goes.
I've been doing it now for about 4 years. This is my 4th year, my last year as well. I've been doing my club rounds at PF, hopefully to improve my driving standards and the kart itself. So it should be a good one.
Well, now we know who the drivers are to look out for in this first race of a brand new series of Champions of the Future. And to take us through the action, here's Steve Slater.
Danny Allen in the red kart on pole position on the left side. Thomas Brown heads the back on the right side. 26 karts down into the first corner for 15 laps of the final. And number 10, Thomas Brown squeezed back into the pack. It's Danny Allen from Phil English. James Harvey moving up into 3rd. Nathan Richardson, Thomas Brown squeezing his way back in the number 10 kart. Looking back from Harvey now in 4th place. That's number 15, Nathan Richardson down into 5th. Oliver Boxer behind him, number 73 there. And there's bumping and boring in the pack, but it's a clear run at the moment for the pole position man. Danny Allen turning in hard though, and he has right on his tail. Phil English is shaking him off a little bit. Oh, Phil English bounces across the curbs, loses his 2nd place there, and back up into 2nd comes Thomas Brown. He was 2nd after the qualifying and the practice and the heats, and he is now back there again. Number 14 in the red, Phil English, got to get his head down. Steady is driving down now, but he has an awful lot of machinery right on his exhaust pipe. And English is looking for another run into that 2nd place. A beautifully judged move down the inside into the long right-hander. And it's Phil English now from Sheffield ahead of the number 10 of Thomas Brown, the Northamptonshire man. Then the black cart of Nathan Richardson from Staffordshire. Phil English, the youngest of the drivers in this heat, 12 years of age, and he is at the moment up into that 2nd place. Thomas Brown right behind him though, and Thomas Brown really starting to come under the pressure from Nathan Richardson. While these 3 are all fighting, just look at the lead. Danny Allen is pulling out, the 15-year-old from Hillingdon. We're looking back again now from James Harvey's kart. Number 88, Jack Linfoot there, closing in. Now, he was dropped by the pack earlier, and he is now starting to close in on the rest. There is the number 88 kart at the top of our screens. Meanwhile, the move for 2nd place happens again. And all the time, Thomas Brown and Phil English are doing this battling and waving to one another. They are losing ground on the rest of the pack. And it's number 15 making his move this time. Nathan Richardson tries to get alongside Phil English for that 3rd place. Phil says, no, you don't. You're going the long way round, mate. Now, number 10 still there in that second place. Can he get a run now to close in on Danny Allen? But it looks to me like the two cars behind are going to challenge. You'll have to take a defensive line into the corner, and if that's the case, there you can see Jack Linfoot and the rest of the pack starting to close in. And all this is getting better and better for Danny Allen. He is now extending a huge lead. He's nearly 4 seconds ahead of the rest. There he is, count to 4. And by the time you've done it, the number 10 car's crossing the line as well. And the number 14 car dives down the inside again. Another brilliant move on the brakes into turn 1. But it's still wheel-to-wheel now into turn 2. And can he hold the inside line? Oh, yes, number 10 holds the inside line, but what a move there by Nathan Richardson. And he says, no, stop doing this, let's go chase the leader. But the two men behind still having the dogfight. Now that is clever thinking by Nathan Richardson. Watch this move again. He saw Thomas Brown coming down the inside, realised that both of them left the gap open, said, thank you very much, I'll have that second place. Now there you see the hand signal, saying, come on, let's get on with it, let's go and chase this race leader. And now going with him, number 10, Thomas Brown, though, still intent on fighting for the place. And you can see that number 15, Nathan Richardson, isn't very happy about that. He's trying to get a clean racing run as fast as possible through the corners without tripping over the man ahead. But at the moment, it's Thomas Brown back up into that second place. And look who's come up in 4th. Number 88, Jack Linfoot, the man who's graduated from Cadet karts last year. This is his first series of Champion of the Future in the Formula Yamaha series. He's up to 4th place, and he's looking good for making another run on Nathan Richardson, but Richardson tries another run on Thomas Brown. He's back through to 2nd, and this time it's number 88, Jack Linfoot, moves up into 3rd. And all of a sudden it's bumping and boring and banging of wheels behind between 10 and 14. Brown and English now fighting for that 4th place. But look now at 15 and 88. This is just what Nathan Richardson wanted. The big fight going on behind now. Still 4 cars fighting for that 4th position. But the two men ahead have made their break, and they are working together as a team. They're not fighting for the places yet. Number 88, Jack Linfoot, is quite happy to sit there and let Nathan Richardson take him to the leader. Meanwhile, it's all happening for 4th place. Still between Thomas Brown, Phil English, but everybody else getting well wrapped up in that as well. Chris Bowen, number 87 there, tries a lunge down the inside of number 17, Phil Wright. Absolutely brilliant racing all the way down the order. But now the men in 2nd and 3rd places, easing away from this big bumping and boring battle. Oh, and it's banging over the curbs, across the grass, 3 abreast. This is great racing. And once again, it's on the curbs, but the checkered flag already waved. Danny Allen takes the victory. 2nd and 3rd places go to Nathan Richardson and Jack Linfoot. Confirmation there of the top 6 results. And what a race, what a result for Danny Allen.
A great race win, first in the brand new series of Champions of the Future. How does that mean? How much does that mean to you?
It feels great. It's the first time I've ever done Champions of the Future, and it's just a fantastic feeling. First ever major championship win I've ever had, so I'm delighted.
Well, it's the first time to spray the bubbles in Champions of the Future for Danny Allen, but I guess it won't be the last.
There'll be more great action from the Formula Yamahas next week. Well, earlier today at PF International, we saw the JICAs go out. Last year, Paul Resta from Scotland dominated this series. I wonder if he'll do it again. To take us through the action, Steve Slater.
These are the big boys, 13 to 16-year-olds, a 22 horsepower piston-board engine, a top speed of close to 90 miles an hour. And last year's championship front runners were providing the fireworks once again. 2 flying Scots, number 3 Ian Johnston, and last year's champion, number 1 Paul Resta, fighting a mega battle at the front. First Johnson, then Resta, but look out for number 7 Jordan Wise. The Cumbrian wasn't going to be left out of this. He had his spell in the lead, but the Scots got back on top. Resta heading for victory with Johnson 2nd, the Venezuelan Rodolfo Gonzalez 3rd. But it's Paul Resta picking up where he left off at the end of the 2000 season. Back on the top step of the podium once again.
That's the JICAs wrapped up for this week. Join us after the break when we find out what this former champion of the future is up to now.
After overcoming their first round opposition at Ellen Road,
He's got through and he's scored!
Leeds United kick off their UEFA Cup second round in front of their home support,
Shoot up with a header, and Leeds have turned it around.
where they'll be expected to deliver the goods and get ahead before the return leg in France.
Eric Bakker pounced with relish.
Leeds v Troyes in a Ford Football Special live tonight 7:30. Sky Sports Extra.
F1 2001. Lock horns with the fastest men on Earth. EA Sports. It's in the game.
What's this groove called under my nose?
Filtrum. We call this your filtrum.
Yes, sir, I'll be with you in one moment. Note the size and condition of it. I'm a fishy pint. There's one up there for the lady. There's four for the man there.
This is our prototype. We need to know what you people think of it. Tell me if it's too light, whether you can get at the buttons all right. Just give us your input.
I love being a mum, but does anyone else sometimes feel overwhelmed?
Hello. I'm looking to meet someone, initially for friendship. I love reading trashy horror novels. Age, height...
The more connections we make, the more possibilities we have. Discover how BT is helping all of us make new connections.
There's a new way to hear more music through your television. Classical. Classic hits.
I love the colorful clothes you wear.
Dance.
At the car.
Soul.
Here comes the summer.
And rock.
Here comes
Each on their own channel, non-stop. You know what you like, you choose. Music choice, non-stop music.
Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Got to make the right choice. Open up your eyes. Look the way you want. Open up your eyes.
Choose your style at Specsavers Opticians.
Open up your eyes.
The main streets will feel the force.
You have the right to sing the blues.
Of their first assignment.
Perhaps we were a bit overzealous. You think that's funny, don't you?
Meet the good.
Gun oil.
Ear cuffs. The bad.
We are gonna nail these punks. Don't make me flap my nostrils.
And the bad-mannered. Police Academy 2, their first assignment. Tomorrow at 9, Sky 1.
Welcome back to Champions of the Future from the PF International Circuit in Lincolnshire. We've already seen two closely contested races, and we've two more on the way. But right now it's time to catch up with some of our former Champions of the Future in Where Are They Now?
Lewis Hamilton, if you haven't heard his name before, you'll certainly hear a lot of him in the future, because if anyone's on a fast track to Formula One, it's Lewis. It started in Champions of the Future in '95 when he won the Cadet Championship, and he did it for a second time in '96.
44, Lewis Hamilton, the reigning Cadet Kart champion, is there in the Formula Junior Yamaha Championship this year, and he is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
He won Formula Yamaha in '97 and was runner-up and the youngest ever driver in JICA in '98. He went on to race in Europe in 1999, then topped the lot last year, winning the Formula A World Champions title.
It's time to get back to the race action in the Rotax Junior Max. And once again, here are the ones to watch.
Did a lot of testing here at PF International, been to Wilton Mill, been all around the country just getting ready for this year's Champions of the Future. And this year I've got a lot of confidence from last year, got track knowledge from a lot of the circuits, so hopefully we'll do better this year.
Done it last year and we won. I haven't really done much since the last year. This season I hope to win it again. Hopefully today I'll win.
Done a few club meetings here because it's a new class to us. So we've done quite a lot of testing. We're being quick in that. So well, I'm hoping really to be top 10. It'd be nice. It's just a learning year for us, really.
So the competition once again is very, very close. To take us through all the action, here's our commentator again, Steve Slater.
Darren Burke on pole position in the white cart on the left. 72, Jason Parrott on the front row of the grid 2. Jigs across to try and get the tight line into turn 1. But it's Darren Burke, Nick Mitchell going through into second place. Jason Parrott forced wide. Adam Wright into fourth place. But it's Parrott trying to move back. He's up on the right-hand side of the track. Now, Jason Parrott, if you forgive the pun, is really flying because he's got a good line through that corner. That's going to take him back onto the tail of the top 3. But it's Darren Burke from Nicky Mitchell and through down the inside comes Adam Wright and up into second place. Where did he come from? Jason Parrott again tries a different line to everybody else, and it's worked because he's got down the inside of Nick Mitchell. Looking back from Jason Parrott's cart now, Nick Mitchell down into fourth place, Parrott up to third. It's Darren Burke and Adam Wright, though, at the head of the order. James Flint closing in now on that fifth place. David Bellchambers, the man from Milton Keynes, down in sixth position in number 92. But at the head of the order at the moment, number 3, Darren Burke, Adam Wright right on his tail. Then comes Jason Parrott carrying our camera, 70 and 92, side by side, David Bellchambers and Stuart Auld. And that was a demon move by the Scot from East Lothian, number 70 on the red cart. And the pressure really on David Bellchambers now with Tom Hawley from Bulldog closing in on him. But at the head of the order, it's still number 3, Darren Burke. Up into second place, though, Jason Parrott. Where did he pull that move from? I do not know, but he's put him right on the tail of the race leader. Adam Wright still there in that third place. Nicky Mitchell, reigning champion in these water-cooled 21 brake horsepower carts. Speed of nearly 80 miles an hour for these machines. Very quick indeed, but they're quite heavy. You've got to be easy on the tyres on them because you can ruin the tyres by pushing too hard too early in the race. And this looks good driving from Darren Burke at the moment. He's keeping it tidy and smooth. Jason Parrott, well, he's really had to fight for it, but he's got through into the lead, and it's almost through into second place there for Adam Wright, but Darren Burke holds on to second. Is he going to try and move down the inside? No, he's not this time. He knows there's not a way past down the inside into that corner. Now's your chance. Now, let's have a look at that move by Jason Parrott, the man from Peterborough. This is his home track, and that was a brilliantly judged move, and he's opened up a really good gap now, back to second place. Well, there you can't see the second place man. He's that far behind now. And the question is, can the rest of them finish their dogfight here and close in? Because it's wheel to wheel between 3 and 6, Darren Burke and Adam Wright. Well, this looked like the battle for the lead a couple of laps back. But this is now the battle for second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth and ninth places as the rest of the train come through. But it's number 3, Darren Burke, at the moment at the head of that group. But ahead of them all, oh, and up onto the grass goes number 77, James Flint, the man from Leeds. And that's lost him a place because back through goes Nicky Mitchell, the reigning champion. And plenty of action for second place as well. Let's take another look at that move. Number 3, Burke gets his nose alongside and Darren pulls back ahead of Adam Wright. And these two now starting to close in on the race leader. Remember what I said about the tyres. You can see the radiators on these carts. They're much heavier than a lot of the air-cooled carts. Number 77, James Klink, makes his move on Stuart Auld. We're riding with Jack Denby. This is the run for 5th, 6th and 7th places. It's real wheel-to-wheel stuff. This is what kart racing is all about. Left foot working hard on the brake, right foot on the throttle. But look at the second and third place men. They've closed in on race leader Jason Parrott. And I'm just wondering whether Jason's just pushed his tyres a little bit hard there in the mid-stages of this race, because these two men seem to have the speed through the corner. Rear-facing camera on Parrott's kart shows number 3 now. Darren Burke right up on his tail. Onto the last lap of the race now, and it's wheel-to-wheel across the line. A big squeeze there on Darren Burke. Burke tries to go one side, then the other. He's still there in that second place, though. 15-year-old Kentish man Darren Burke tries to move down the inside this time. It's forced Parrott wide. They've both gone wide and carrying the speed through in third place. It's now right onto the back bumper of these two for the number 6 cart as well. And Adam Wright could have my money on him here to spring a surprise, because while these two are fighting, he's closing in and he has the chance of getting down the inside. And again, the last corner of the lap now. And there comes the number 6 cart, Adam Wright, on his way through the final sequence of corners, and all of a sudden he is going to pop out onto the start-finish straight ahead of number 3 and number 72. He takes a quick look over his shoulder. That was a perfectly judged move, and on the run down to the start-finish line, it's Adam Wright, both hands in the air, celebrating success. Sporting thumbs up there from Darren Burke, but both he and Jason must be as sick as parrots because they threw that race away. But Adam Wright, a worthy winner.
Adam, what an extraordinary result. Did you ever think you were going to win that one?
No, I thought it was third, and I just saw Jason and Darren just battle on the last lap, and they just left the gap and I just took it.
It's time now to catch up with the very youngest competitors in the championship, the Formula Cadet racers. Some of them are as young as 8 years of age. Don't worry about their youth, though. They provide us with some of the most thrilling racing in the whole series. Earlier, we caught up with some of the faster fellows in this formula.
Well, I've been in cadets for 1.5 years so far, and this is my last year. And yeah, I've got a lot of experience, but I've still got a lot more to go. And yeah, hope to get a top 3 finish.
Well, this is my last year, and I've had quite a lot of experience so far. So, well, I'm one of the top runners, so hopefully the first would be very nice. I've got a very good chance of winning.
Testing like up in Scotland, we've kind of mucked about the car, and I think it should do all right today. Well, stay on the track, don't spin out, and like, don't bend my chassis, and just, that's about it.
The moment of truth is here. Let's get back to the track and join our race commentator, Steve Slater.
We've saved the best till last. James Calado on pole, Thomas Arm on the outside, and number 20 ducks into the slipstream of the pole position man. It's James Calado. Daniel Rowbottom goes through with the black overalls up into second place on the 0 car. Number 20, Thomas Arm there, right up in the middle of the field with Adam Christodoulou. Number 6, pushing very hard as well, Matthew Hamilton, Jordan Oakes right behind. And we're riding with the race leader, looking back at second place, Daniel Rowbottom. The 2 Worcestershire drivers, both first and second at the moment. James Calado, Daniel Rowbottom. Then it's Thomas Arm from Ashburn in Derbyshire, and little Thomas there right up on the tail of these two, hunched over the steering wheel, trying to minimise the drag, make the smallest hole in the air and go as fast as possible down the straights. Left foot working hard on the brake there of Matthew Hamilton's number 98 car. He is right up on the tail of Jordan Oakes. They're fighting for 5th and 6th places. But out in front, you can see the battle going on ahead of them at the top of the field. James Calado, Daniel Rowbottom, Thomas Arm, Adam Christodoulou. And it's Christodoulou now with a big challenge coming from Jordan Oakes behind him in 4th place. First 3 absolutely locked together. Calado, Rowbottom and Arm. On 12-wheeled cart almost there, all glued together. Then comes the red cart. Adam Christodoulou now with Jordan Oakes really putting the pressure on him. And throwing a wheel up in the air. Daniel Rowbottom driving his kart so hard that the wheel's flying up into the air. Closing in 2 now, number 32, Daniel Smith, the young man from St Albans. This is the battle for 1st and 2nd. James Calado, race leader. Daniel Rowbottom trying to get his nose alongside. But unlike the more powerful karts, you've got to carry the speed through the corners on these. There's no way you can go demon on the brakes and come out of the corner ahead. It's James Calado keeping a very smooth driving rhythm. The 11-year-old chased by the 12-year-old from Worcestershire, Calado from Rowbottom. Then it's Thomas Arm, 10 years of age. But all of a sudden he gets bundled down to 5th place because through come Jordan Oakes and Adam Christodoulou. And it's number 11, Calado now being chased by Daniel Rowbottom. Then a whole new bunch of people because it's number 9 now, Jordan Oakes, really putting the pressure on. Followed by Adam Christodoulou, the young man from Lichfield there, number 6, being chased now by a furious Thomas Arm, I am sure. And running up the curve behind him come Daniel Smith and James Tucker. But Calado has led this from the very first corner. Is he going to be able to take it all the way to the checkered flag? It's certainly going to be a big challenge because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 carts all stacked up behind him. Big battle still on between 9 and 6, Oakes and Christodoulou. Jordan Oakes really has done a good job to get through the pack here. He's started down in 6th place, he's up into 3rd. Across the line, 2 laps still to go. And there's the, a very, very heavy contact there. Daniel Smith and James Tucker start to pull back the number 20 kart of poor Thomas Arm. He is dropping down the pack, losing out on power, losing out on handling. Something isn't working for young Thomas. He is out of the reckoning now. The race still on though between Calado and Rowbottom. 11 and 0. Then comes the number 9 kart of Jordan Oakes, the red machine. Then right on his tail still comes Adam Christodoulou. from Lichfield in Staffordshire. But at the moment, it's still the two Worcestershire drivers out in front. One from Redditch, one from Evesham. Then comes number 9. As the squeal of tyres just proves how hard they're running here. Calado's race-leading car howling its tyres round the corner. Daniel Rowbottom still just keeping the pressure on, can't quite find a way past. Now it's on to the last lap of the race, now as they cross the line. And there are 4 of them lining up on the tail of James Calado. He is going to have to drive the widest cadet kart ever made to stay ahead in this one. And it's still Rowbottom there in second place, makes a little bit of a break away from Christodoulou and Oakes, but it's wheel to wheel now for the race leader, side by side. Oh, nice move, Rowbottom, because Rowbottom gets his nose ahead, but look at this, James Calado is just refusing to give way. Bang goes the side pod, bang go the wheels, and right around the outside goes Daniel Rowbottom into the lead. Through the final sequence of corners now. Calado gets his nose back alongside, but can't quite make it stick through the corner, or can he? He's going to go 2 wheels on the curves. Doesn't quite get the traction out of the corner, though. This is the final set of S's. And all of a sudden, on the last lap of the race, Daniel Rowbottom has timed this absolutely perfectly. He's being pushed across the line by James Calado, but it's kart 0 that takes the checkered flag. Absolute delight for young Daniel Smith behind in 3rd position. And a superb race as ever from the Formula Cadet karts, with Daniel Rowbottom taking the slenderest of victories.
Sort of planned out in my head what I was going to do. I was going to dive for it on the second from last lap and hope to maybe we can come past on second from last, but it was very good. It's exciting.
That's the first round then from PF International Circuit in Lincolnshire. Join us next week for more high-octane thrills and spills from Champions of the Future.